Good night or good late evening, depending on where you're watching this from. Good morning to any of those that are watching this from the East Coast. We have breaking news right now that is coming in for my friend over here. I'm going to introduce him here in just a second. This is breaking news right now. We have a tsunami advisory and a tsunami warning up and down the west coast of California, part of a very intense earthquake, a violent earthquake that occurred earlier today across Russia. We had an 8.8 magnitude earthquake there. It was upgraded. It was an 8.7. Now it was upgraded to an 8.8. So this earthquake, and there are several aftershocks that are ongoing right now. The latest aftershock was a 5.2, and this is generating additional tsunami activity coming in this general area. If you are in Hawaii right now, we are seeing the tsunami move across that area as we speak. It is already moving into the Eureka area. In fact, getting there first in a series of waves. This is going to be an all-night thing that we're dealing with. For those that are just tuning in, I know you all are used to me covering the tropics, covering severe weather, but this is entirely different. This is basically an emergency update right now from the home weather office right now in regards to this earthquake that occurred hours ago, followed by a tsunami. And actually, if we go over to tsunami.gov, can you actually give me that link if you don't mind, actually, Nate? Thank you very much. We are going to bring up a live camera at this time, and we are going to watch after that ad actually ends for us. We will bring that camera up. Yeah, but if you guys are just tuning in, this is breaking news right now. A life-threatening situation. We have a tsunami. Let's take a look at tsunami.org. I know I spelled this in forever, so tsunami.org. It should pop up on us. Yeah, please give me the link. See that? There we go. Oh wait, no, that's not the link. Okay, here we go. We're gonna bring it up. So tsunami zone. So we're actually going to go over to the tsunami zone. Oh no, this is not it. Tsunami.org. Oh wait, .gov, right? .gov. That's what it is. It's government website. So this is what we need to get here. So here are the observations. So we are okay, let's zoom in. So, yeah, there's a tsunami warning up here. Can you bring up a camera, Nate? In the Fort Bragg area, there is a tsunami warning in that area right now. There is a tsunami advisory all the way down the west coast of California at this time, and that goes all the way down into the San Diego area. We still have, looks like a watch has been, or yeah, this must have updated. They dropped the warning from earlier, and now it's down to a watch. So that tsunami wave has passed through the area, but we are now getting that here in the west, along the west coast. So let's bring up this camera. I hate advertisements. I will tell you what right now, they are very annoying. But let's bring that up. Let's bring that up. Probably so many people. So we're going to see, and this is out of which beach? Waikiki. So if we actually go back, let's see if we can archive this. See if we were able to get some activity right before it got dark. Let's see. See if we are able to get any water that comes up. Come on. It looks like the sand is really wet there. So there must have been a surgence. Or maybe it didn't hit this area just yet. Let's see if that water does. Oh, water's coming out here. And that water comes way down very quickly. So no activity here on the Waikiki and Honolulu. Let's actually go to additional cameras though. We got one in San Francisco Bay. We also have a live camera. I hope the guy allows me to use it. It is off of a YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, every single stinking person here is actually live right now. Yeah, so there's no one watching this guy. So actually bring it up. Actually, this is not going to be a good view at all, just because it might actually see this one. That's not going to, this is happening at night, so it's not going to be entirely good quality. But this is a big credit goes to this guy, Chamberlain Nature, making this possible. This is in San Francisco, so we're going to need to wait and see if we have any rising in the water. But what I will bring up is live tides, because tides will actually tell us which areas are going to see a rise in water, or if they actually have risen. So let's go to here, plot data. So there has not been a change in actual tide levels here in the North Split as of right now. So this seems to be doesn't seem to arrive here. Yeah, so see, this is, this hasn't gone up yet. So we're going to wait and see what happens with that. Because, yeah, this hasn't gone up. So our tide levels have not risen any further, like a big jump in those sea level rises. So I find that very interesting. Let's go to Crescent City to see if there has been a rise, maybe further up north here near Port Orford. Go to the plot data there, and there has not been a rise in the water level in Port Orford in Oregon. So we're just going to have to wait and see if the tsunami actually has arrived there. Let's actually zoom in. This is big. Just realized that. Too big. But the red area here is a tsunami warning, so this needs to be taken very seriously. That's basically what that indicates, that there's a tsunami warning. Yeah, and it does take me to that website. Oh, is it going to work? No, it's not. Interesting. This actually works. This will give me the tide levels if there is anything. See if there's anything in Hawaii with any tide rises there. Yep, there it is. So you can already see this is the tsunami in Hawaii, in Hawaii. You can see the first wave came in, that was not as high. And then the second wave came in. And let's see. That is 2 feet above the actual tide level. That's a little significant, but it's not super. I mean, there will be some flooding with that, and it looks like the third wave is already coming in. So this area is already seeing an increase in sea level rises with this third potential wave. We will need to wait and see if that's actually going to continue, if this is actually going to be a higher wave than the first couple when we get the new data. So water levels there have definitely been fluctuating pretty quickly because of that, the tidal wave. Let's actually go further to the northwest here in the Midway Islands, northwest of Hawaii, and this has seen a very significant, look at this. This is still fluctuating quite erratically with their actual water levels. You can see water came down, it came up first a little bit and then it dropped. This is pretty dramatic. This is a pretty big change in sea level, And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it looks like another tsunami, a separate wave because of aftershocks. We're still seeing this up and down with the sea level. So even so, the main wave might have passed. There was a second wave. There could be additional tsunamis in the Midway Islands because of that, because with the aftershocks that we're seeing, this is a very active seismic zone right now with additional earthquakes that are coming off of that. So I would not be surprised if we continue to see additional tsunami waves protruding out of that direction and hitting these islands overnight tonight. So it is not safe to get back to the ocean. If you live by there, please heed the warnings, because there will be additional tsunami waves. Depending on exactly location will be very key here. Here's another plot. This is in Nawaihi. I can't even speak Hawaiian. Excuse me. There has been some tsunami wave activity here on this plot as well. See what's been going on over here in Alaska, because they're not really far from where those waves were. See if they gotten some activity. And oh yeah, big time. Oh, this is very significant right here. They're getting their next wave, and it seems like each wave is getting bigger and bigger. So this is getting hit very hard right now. I mean, look at this. Look at the change. That is a full 5 feet increase in a matter of 15 minutes between the trough and the crest. And then it's going down again. And it looks like we're going to have another big wave here coming in the next 5 or 10 minutes on Adak Island in Alaska. So this area is getting hit really hard right now. Now, I want to make it clear, the waves have not arrived yet on the West Coast, as seen by our our tide gauges, indicating that we have not seen any activity there. This just updated as of midnight, so 9 minutes ago. We do not have any abnormal sea level rise at this given time in the North Split, California. On the West Coast. We will be waiting to see if we get any spikes. There is a tsunami warning out, so please take this seriously. Just because the water hasn't come up yet does not mean it's not going to arrive. Sometimes tsunamis are hard to predict, and what I mean by that is if we actually go over to the National Weather Service, so follow your local weather office, and oh, that's an advisory. I thought it was upgraded to a warning. So right now, these are the times. So Fort Bragg, it's supposed to be there already, but it has not arrived yet. We're waiting for the data to come in. Monterey, 12:15 in the morning. So in the next 5 minutes, you're supposedly going to see those sea level rise increase. And actually, Monterey Bay would be a bit closer to... actually would be equally as far away from where the earthquake was, when you radiate things out. Port San Luis, 12:35, and then Santa Barbara by 12:45 a.m. These are estimates, and these are not actual times that the exact wave will hit. It could hit 30 minutes earlier or 30 minutes to even an hour later. So please take this into consideration. If you're by the water, please follow any Coast Guard people that are out there, because they'll tell you that, hey, this is actually going to be a little higher, and tsunami waves can actually amplify closer to the ocean. So even so, it's probably only like 3 or 4 feet. Well, that's 3 or 4 feet of extra water that has to go further inland. Let's just put it this way. So let's use Google Earth Pro as a reference point here. So again, for those that are tuning in, this is an emergency breaking news live stream right now. Watching and waiting for tsunami. This is a pop-up live stream. This is an emergency. This is to be taken very seriously. I don't do this unless it needs to be done. And that's because we are dealing with an actual tsunami, not unlike the one that we had back in January. It was with that earthquake that was near Fort Bragg. That did not trigger a tsunami, but this one did. Thankfully, it was a lot further away, but still, it's impacting people with a lot of water. So for reference, let's actually go to Santa Cruz. That's my favorite spot to watch any tides and stuff if I go there and do any visiting. This right here is about 13 feet above sea level. So if we got like about 5 or 6 feet increase in our tidal, it would be king tide, but a little worse than a king tide, in other words, depending on the timing of this occurring with the overnight high tide that occurs during the summertime. So you have to put that in perspective, that if you're by the beach, it may not look that big, but believe me, tsunamis are there for a reason, because it's a tidal wave. It's the tides go higher than they should be, and they cause flooding. They really do. So we have another camera. Let's see if we can bring this up. So this, okay, so we, come on, stupid ad. Stupid ad, come on. Okay, so we have another camera here that we will bring up. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. You guys did. So sorry. Say, hey, hello, Nate. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
So, by the way, tell them who you are, and for the 500 people that are actually watching this live stream, I want to proudly announce, I'll speak on his behalf briefly. We have a new potential candidate here to help my YouTube channel during the hurricane season. So tell them about who you are and why are we live here? What are we dealing with?
So we're kind of dealing with a little bit of, tsunami action. I'm not very well versed. David's more well versed in the tsunami world than I am. I'm currently living in Florida, which, I've loved storm chasing. When I saw David's daily weather posts, I really thought that he was somebody that I would like to work with. He's a really trustworthy person. He gives very detailed tropical outlooks. So hopefully in the near future, hopefully and unfortunately, if there are any hurricanes going to hit Florida, I can help him out with his streams, and I can, report live from inside the hurricane at some points.
Yep. And that means we have 2 people that are going to be good fits for around the clock live streaming coverage when a tropical storm or hurricane makes landfall within 24 to 36 hours. I won't talk much about that in this live stream because we are really focused on this tsunami type threat that is existing across the West, across Alaska. I I was very shocked when my friend Easy on Discord and then my friend Nate said, David, we got there was an 8.8 mega thrust earthquake in Russia. I'm like, where in Russia? And then I literally looked at the USGS and I'm like, no kidding. That's why there's a tsunami. And this is why there is a tsunami. Look at all these earthquakes. Very active seismic activity going on. And that follows, all these are aftershocks, which follows the main earthquake, an 8.8 followed by hundreds and possibly even a couple hundred aftershocks right now. And that is why we are live here urgently tracking this until the threat decreases, which it will decrease once the wave actually moves all the way through across much of the west coast here of California and then across Baja California. So we're going to really watch to see if the water comes up here. This is, oh wait, no, this is in Waikiki, so it had passed already. You know what? There's another earth cam, though, that I will bring up here in California. Man, I was not prepared for this. I will tell you what. I mean, literally, I came home coming to a tsunami, literally a tsunami impacting the California coast. So let me see if we got any ocean cameras here. No, we do not. San Diego Harbor camera might shed some light. And is it going to shed us some light? No, it's not. It's not going to give us a good glimpse. Yeah, that's what happens when it's nighttime and you can't get a good grasp of what we're dealing with. So we are going to have to go the old man's land and look at just cameras right here. Or not cameras, but tidal gauges that give us an accurate representation, gives you some latest feed. Well, we are watching Arena Cove. The sea level has not come up yet. Well, it's coming up with the tidal cycle that's typical, because you'll get 2 high tides here and 2 low tides. And right now, we're entering a semi-diurnal high tide, which will be at 3:18 in the morning. The tide of 4.39 feet. So it's a matter of what will this do once this wave hits Arena Cove. And it has not hit Arena Cove right now. We're waiting from Eureka once it hits there. And it has not arrived. Not as of 12:12 in the morning on the 29th of, or the 30th of July, that is. It's going to be interesting to see how high this actually gets. Thank you, T-Man, for the $5 donation. I do appreciate it. If you guys are just tuning in here, this is an emergency. This is breaking news live right now in the home weather office. We're taking a brief break from hurricane. Well, we're not tracking hurricanes, but we're taking a quick little hiatus from the tropics, just at least for right now. Of course, I won't have a video out on the tropics in the morning anyways. That's for the afternoon. So, yeah, if you're coming here to watch this and be like, what? David's covering a tsunami? Well, tsunamis are related to the ocean, and the ocean is related to hurricanes, and hurricanes are related to the ocean, and the ocean is related to tsunamis. They're cousins. They share similar DNA. Charleston, Oregon. Let's take a look at the plot system there. Nothing unusual right now. Keep an eye, though, on that, Nate, for me on... actually, I will send you the link here. So that way, if I'm not on it at the moment, we can bring that up in real time. Because I am watching all of these tidal gauges. South Beach in Oregon, not seeing anything. Let's go up the coast here in Astoria, which I was there nearly about a month ago. Can't believe it. It's been a month since we were in Astoria. I was there visiting because my cousin was getting married. Great. It was a fun time there. And there is no tsunami at the moment. And water levels are actually below the tidal cycle, which is really helpful. That means water levels are actually a little lower than they should be, meaning The tsunami should not be quite as bad there. Still bad, but like it takes a little bit of the pressure off from where it could be. We're not seeing anything in Toki Point in Washington at the moment with our latest tide gauges. Let's go up the coast here in the Olympic Mountains of Neha Bay. We are not seeing anything at the moment there. We just passed the lowest tide. The predicted low tide was 2.15 feet at 11:24. We just passed low tide, just a little shy of that at 11:54 on the 29th. So just a little lower than the predicted by about an inch or so. And now we're going back up naturally. So if you see water rise over time, of course, you can't tell with a tide like this because it's gradual. It happens over 6 hours. But if you see a quick rise in tide, that is highly unusual. You're experiencing a tsunami, and do not wait to see it coming, because water will come up very quickly with this kind of thing within minutes, not hours. Port Alexander in Canada, we have yet to see the first wave arrive there. We have not gotten there just yet. I'm waiting to see Elfin Cove, Alaska. Still nothing. Wow, way below the tide, actually. Way below. That could signal, though, that the wave is closely approaching, but we're not there. Yakutat, or Yakutat Bay in Alaska, still nothing, but there is a little bit of unusualness starting to arrive here, so that could be the early indication up there that the first wave is not far from arriving. Let's see over here in Cordova, Alaska. No activity there with the tsunami. And this thing is really taking its own sweet time. Elatek, Alaska, also no activity there. So I would assume our wave is probably, let's see USGS, where that earthquake actually, okay, so it's right here. Go here, so it happened here, so you would think, let me draw something. Little hyper prediction here. So if our waves just got past Hawaii, that would in theory mean they should be hitting these islands. Interesting. Actually, they are hitting these islands, some of them. But there is no activity on the King Cove, Alaska, on these other islands. Interesting. So, okay, so it is hitting that island. It is hitting this. Is it hitting this one, though? Okay, it's hitting that. It's actually interesting below tide levels. It's really a anti-tsunami. And it's, yeah, there's some activity here, very minor, but doesn't look very unusual. So King Cove might have had their tsunami already. Just waiting for it to slam into the west coast here. And we're not getting anything. We're not getting anything at the very moment. But my goodness, very, very active. Look at all of the earthquakes peppered here on the screen, people, including you, Nate. Look at this. All these earthquakes. You there?
Yes, yes. I'm looking at the stream right now. I'm sorry. I was just looking at the tidal data out of Maui at the current time. I started noticing these sea levels started receding below normal. But yeah, that's a ton of aftershocks. That's not really normal. I mean, this was the sixth largest earthquake in human history in recorded time.
Oh my goodness.
Again, if you live on a coastal area, please take this seriously. This isn't something that you just want to mess around with. Take cover, listen to your local authorities, and it's like a storm surge if you're in a hurricane.
Exactly.
You would be, you're unsure if it's going to be bigger or if it's going to be smaller. You never know, so you always want to make sure.
Yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on that Waikiki Beach. There is tsunami activity occurring, so we could see short-term fluctuations. The water might come out to here, or it might just come up to here, okay? And it doesn't seem like a lot, okay? But it makes a difference. If you're on this hotel and you're like, whoa, our water is a little close here, I would be a little cautious because maybe that next wave can bring the water all the way up to here, quite close. Right now, the thing to keep an eye on is this dark part of the sand. Okay, the water not too long ago was a little bit on the higher end side. Oh, okay, looks like thought we were seeing the water come up there a little bit. We're going to really need to watch this. Where these waves crash, though, does this water start coming up or does it recede? Take note, water recedes before the tsunami wave actually arrives, and it already has arrived, but as we got told here, we are seeing tsunami activity ripple through those islands. And the scary thing about this is when tsunamis or waves hit these islands, they can, because there's not really a shelf here to really kind of break these waves apart, especially since they're rather rogue and they're rather big. They're not going to be your crashing waves. So what ends up happening is these waves will hit the islands and then they'll bounce off and hit these southern islands and then bounce off again. So you could have a lot of activity here for a while with these rapid fluctuations of sea level. And right now we just got the third minor wave that went through. So there was one first wave, second wave, third, and then the fourth wave. And sea levels are on the decline at the moment based on our latest buoys. But that's not to say if you're in Kalawai, I can't even say that. Not even going to say it. Water levels here really have dropped. Look at this. I mean, and that means if they're below your tide level, remember where our tide level has been for a while here. Okay. And then boom, it's like an earthquake in the water happening up and down, these waves rippling away. So if we get below average tide levels, it's going to be followed by another increase in sea levels. So we have to take that into consideration if you're living on these islands that, okay, water's below the tide levels. That means there's probably going to be another wave arriving soon when those waters recede. It looks like we had a minor little tsunami here with a little bit of an increase and then water really dropped. Now it's kind of leveling off. And it just depends on what part of the island you're on, because the shape of the island is also going to take an account. Of course, in these little estuaries, you're not going to feel much of that. As you can see here, water levels were actually going up and down, and they're a little bit more raggedy. This is a tsunami right here. So it begins here, goes up, and then levels, and then kind of comes up. It's more of an average because this is not open. This is in a little estuary where the water comes in here, fills this whole estuary lagoon up, and then during the next cycle of the tsunami, then the water comes out slowly, and then it just kind of comes back in again. Why it's more gradual there than in any other areas. Honolulu, definitely a spike here. Another very aggressive spike is occurring. The predicted tide on this in this period was 1.21 feet, and it is a little over a foot above the actual predicted tide. So we are starting to see that fourth wave arrive. That means there is another wave that's going to hit these other islands, and that's why we have a live camera out. Oh, and I think, yeah, look at this. Our water has dropped a little bit. Has dropped a teeny bit. There's more of this gray showing up. Yeah, this water is coming down as we speak. So we're losing some of the sea level heights here, and they're dropping a little bit. We're going to really be watching this. Yeah, look at this. Look at it. It's dropping. It is dropping a little bit more. So we are seeing that go out. So while we're watching that, see San Francisco. I don't think you're going to really notice it here, though. Actually, if it's needed, we'll put that back on, because that's in a marina. Arena Cove. Still no activity, man. This is really running behind schedule. As of 12:18, there is no deformation at all in terms of the North Split area as well as the Arena Cove. No unusual tidal activity arriving there yet. We'll see what the National Weather Service does in further updates. But we are definitely seeing activity here with rapid fluctuations. In 15 minutes, the water went from 3 feet all the way down to 0 feet. So a 3-foot drop in a matter of about 10 minutes. That's very, very quick. And it looks like we're getting another wave right now that is ongoing. And this is in the Hilo Bay at the moment. So there is significant tsunami wave activity in progress. And we're just going to wait and see from our cameras to see if this continues to fluctuate. Oh, yeah. Nate, if you want to intervene on that, you are more than happy to.
All right. So, I mean, I just texted David on Discord. Pretty much remember everybody, like, you know, we're not, we're tracking something that's thousands of miles away and traveling at hundreds of miles per hour. These predictions can change very rapidly. Like what you saw in Hawaii, they came out, they were higher, and then when it got there, it was lower. You know, as these tsunami waves approach the shallower shelves of the ocean, it can cause them to, the water can easily recede and it can grow in height. So it won't be a slow tsunami. So if there's a big shelf or it has a lot of time to decrease in speed, it can sometimes increase the wave height and cause more coastal flooding than normal.
Exactly. And so the shape, as he was saying, of the cove or the shelf of the water, it's going to affect that. Oh, looks like is water coming up. I think there's water. Maybe the water's... That was a big wave that crashed right there. Maybe not. Yeah, this could change very quickly. It's going to be very interesting to see this dark part slowly erode as we get the next set of waves coming in. Looks like water might be coming up a little bit. Yep, it's coming up. I think it's coming up a little bit more. So I would not be surprised if we're already starting to see the next wave slowly arrive here on the Waikiki camera from EarthCam. We're gonna really watch this. I think it's... Maybe it's not. It's trying. I can tell by the behavior. I think it is. I know it's very hard to tell. It might be trying. This is getting thinner. This dark, sandy area. You can tell where the water has been. This dark, sandy area. See it right here as well. And so the closer it gets to that dark sandy area, the higher the water actually is. And also the wave activity too might be increasing because it can agitate the water a little bit. Oh yeah, that was a big wave right there that collapsed in. So we're going to need to watch this. This is evolving really fast. Actually, is there a tidal gauge on... Hiwa? There's nothing. Waikiki. There has to be a tidal gauge in that area. If there is, we're probably witnessing an increase in water. And again, this is from an 8.8 earthquake, 6th strongest earthquake in the world since records began. Man, imagining an 8.8 earthquake off the coast of California. Remember that little, we thought it was a mega thrust earthquake? Remember a little about like 5 or so months ago? That did not end up being a mega thrust quake, but imagining if it was a lot stronger, like the one in Russia, man, we would have been devastated. Well, not me, but along the coast, of course. Not that this is not any serious, but this is serious because it's a wave that's, I mean, people that live right along the coast, maybe out there enjoying their honeymoon. Yeah, you're not going to be able to enjoy that honeymoon too comfortably because of water rises. And it looks like the water is definitely coming up. Look at this, Nate. The gray part is getting thinner. I'm actually going to watch this. I am very intrigued about this.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it too, David. I've been
I think it's coming
while
up.
I've been on yeah, while I've been on mute, I've been monitoring all these different sort of stations. Nothing yet in California as expected. Definitely some movement in Honolulu. Up near Alaska in those islands too, definitely some movement as well. Just because it started and it said it was going to arrive doesn't mean the worst has already come yet. So we'll see in the next probably hour or 2 hours. We'll probably see these wave heights get a little bit more aggressive into the Hawaiian Islands. And we'll see if the tsunami forecasters end up sort of changing their predictions for California in the next 2 hours as well.
Yeah. So even so, I know the title says emergency and stuff. This is truly an emergency. This is breaking live right now as it's happening. Even so, the tsunami's not 100 feet tall or 30 feet tall. It's a tsunami. There are warnings, and please heed those warnings. If you are under a tsunami warning, that means a lot. The levels of water will come up enough to where they can inundate and flood parking lots, streets, roads, anything, including your home. If you're under a tsunami advisory, that means please be advised that this could go up to a warning at any time. And you could see water levels even a little higher than forecasted. So that's how unpredictable tsunamis are. Okay. Unlike storm surge, we can kind of give a ballpark of how high the storm surge is going to be from a hurricane, because we know that, okay, the hurricane is this strong. We know how high the storm surge is going to be. But with a tsunami, on different depths of the ocean, as well as land masses, could shape these waves differently. That's why not the first wave is always the biggest wave, right? The second or the third wave could always be the biggest. And even so, the first wave here, this is out of Sand Island in the Midway Islands, which, by the way, is the furthest west before the international date line. So before you go past the date line, this is the last spot to celebrate New Year's, if you were wondering about that. And then your waves get smaller, but look at that. What's that? Well, that's a second wave that's even higher than the first one, because your tide was actually predicted to be a little higher, and that's one of the reasons why. But look at, there are still these little waves rippling through that can bring tide levels a little higher than they should be. So that's something to consider here. If you're on any of these islands, that the first wave is not the worst wave, nor the last wave could be the weakest wave either. See these other areas. That looks like levels have come down there on Kauai. It's Eureka. Any activity has arrived. Okay, I think we're starting to see water levels come up in the North Split, California area. There is a bit of an anomaly that has been noted. So we are starting to see the tsunami wave arrive in North Split, California right now. Right now. So if you are in Eureka, please, I hope you're away from the coast, this little peninsula, Manila, okay? We're starting to see water level rises at the moment. Based on our tidal gauge in the North Split area, we will get a new buoy report here soon. That is as of 12:30. So that was about 11 minutes ago. We will get a new update here very soon, but it looks like our water levels may be coming up a little faster in the North Split, California area. So we are starting to witness the beginnings of a tsunami wave arriving there potentially. We will finalize out once we get more data in. Arena Cove, let's see that. Okay, yes, Arena Cove now in California is witnessing the tsunami wave. All right, water levels now are above tide, predicted tide levels. 15 minutes ago, water levels were at 3.13 feet, and now they are at 3.47 feet. So they have come up by about a half a foot in the matter of about 15 minutes. Actually, no, that's not even 15 minutes. That's less than 15 minutes. 18? That's actually 5 minutes. 5 minutes of data. That came up. That's coming up quick. So that's as of the 12:24. We will get a new update here, hopefully really soon. Oh, yep. Oh gosh, yeah, this is it. It's hitting Arena Cove right now, Nate. It is hitting Arena Cove in California. I can confirm water levels now. Yeah, 3.4 to now 4.2 feet. So up a foot. It has come up a foot in about 5 minutes. That's pretty sharp increase.
Yes, David, I'm seeing that right now too. I wonder when the other stations are going to start reflecting more of kind of a sharp curve upwards like Arena Cove. Arena Cove was actually one of the areas highlighted in the warning, not the advisory zone. So that's good to know that all of that is, accurately predicted. So.
Yep, it's coming up. Yeah, North Split continues to rise rapidly right now. So tsunami is occurring right now in North Split, California. Tidal levels are not just a little bit above the predicted tide levels, but this is going to make the flooding potentially more serious depending on how high this actually gets once it gets into the North Split, the first and second waves. Surf cams, please. I don't know. I don't think we have any. If we do, it's not a good quality one. Let's see where this is at. Where this camera is actually located. Oh, that's way in Southern California. Let me bring up YouTube here. Let me see what I have on the fly. It's very dark. So it's not going to be very obvious to see it here because this is looking all the way out into the ocean, but this is in the Pacific, in Pacifica near San Francisco in California. But actually, if it comes up like 3 or 4 feet, we could see the difference, the gap close with the lights shining out there. We are just going to have to watch that. But once we do get that information, we'll bring it to you. But we are limited, unfortunately, with cameras. This was a last-minute thing, so we were not able to react fast enough, me and Nate. It went from me not live streaming this to me literally live streaming this. It just, things changed very fast. Did this just update? Oh, no, it didn't. We will get a new update here. We will get a new update very soon. And we will see how much higher this is actually going to get. This is near the peak of the high tide, though, in Arena, California, Point Arena. Point Reyes. We are not seeing any activity yet in Monterey. We're not seeing any activity yet, but it's already hitting the coast here. So it's on its way into San Francisco. Probably in the next 5 or so, maybe 10 minutes, we will start seeing water rises there happen pretty quickly.
Hey, David, I wasn't able to find anything for Arena right there, but I was able to find Point Arena just about 15 nautical miles south of Arena. You were just looking at the surf chart right there. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah. So this is very fastly evolving. So we should get a new update here in about a minute on this next Arena Cove. But for those that are watching, if you do like the coverage, please share, like, and subscribe. If you guys are new, I know if you guys do end up subscribing just because I'm covering a tsunami, also think twice because we do cover tropics. This is not my specialty in terms of tsunami coverage unless it's urgent like we're seeing. I'm mainly a tropical weather guy. Nate knows it already, as well as my other fans. So if you're new to the channel, if you haven't been here, please subscribe if you want to get tropical weather updates. But not tonight. This is a tsunami live stream instead. Crescent City has water that really has come up. We're just waiting everly so patiently for new data to walk in. See if the tsunami has actually arrived in the rest of Oregon, though. Yep, it's just arriving now in South Beach, Oregon. See up here in the rest of La Push. Interesting little minor wave there, and then it dropped. So we'll see where this goes for the rest of the observations. Not much of a bit here in Neha Bay. Yeah, so we're not seeing anything there really significant versus areas to the south. Let's see what the Big Island is showing here. Oh, yep, we're getting another rise. Let's see if it's happening on our Waikiki Beach. Yeah, water has come up a little bit more. Yep, water has come up just a little bit. So we are seeing activity. Tsunami activity continuing. So how far will the inland flooding be? It really depends on where you are in relation to the tsunami, but I would say minor to moderate inundation, especially right along the coast, is certainly a possibility, especially in a tsunami warning. If you're in a tsunami warning, you're more likely going to see some minor coastal flooding and beach erosion along the California coast. Man, I wish we had cameras in California. More of them. More of them. Really helpful. For our DART systems, let's see what this is telling us. It's not really telling us much. So that's a look at Hawaii as far as where the tsunami is right now. Let's continue to look at Point Arena. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There was definitely that's clearly a tsunami. So there is definitely the first wave has hit Arena Cove, California. Is it hitting Point Reyes? Not yet. Not yet in Point Reyes. Let's see what about here, North Split. Yeah, North Split going up gradually. More than likely, because it's right here in that bay, the water slowly flows in and fills in the gap. So it's not going to be a sharp increase, unlike areas exposed like Crescent City will be more of a sharp increase because there's no lagoon there where the tide comes in. Just direct. It's just a direct hit. This water has come up. It has come up a little bit. Definitely notable. Definitely notable. Yeah, it's definitely happening. Oh, yeah. That water is coming up. We're seeing it. We're seeing the tsunami. Oh, yeah. Oh, that came up even further. You know what? All these waves are building. So that's coming in. That's actually, you can literally witness a tsunami coming in because these waves are propagating quite fast towards the ocean, towards the beach. Yep. There's my black line. There's more water crossing the black line right now. Yeah. Very minor increase, but it is an increase. It is a minor increase. And those are some big waves that are crashing right now.
Hey,
Yep.
David, if you have a moment, I would like to say a word.
Yep. Go ahead.
I see a bunch of people in the comments. I'd like to apologize for the cameras. Currently, there's not many great cameras in California at the moment. Right now, we kind of have to rely on the surf buoys. I do apologize for that. It's just they don't have a great picture quality, and it wouldn't be worth anything to you guys showing. So I'm trying to find the best cameras to kind of illustrate what is currently happening.
But we got a camera that we can use. Luckily, here, this is the Waikiki camera. Water has slowly come up, as noted by the black line that I drew here. Basically, our reference point, and there are big waves out here that are crashing, but they're slowing down a little bit. That could indicate, though, a little bit of a resurgence. Let's see. Oh, water's still coming up. Still attempting. I do apologize that we don't have much cameras other than the Waikiki Beach one. I'm terribly sorry. But I'm doing all we can to cover this. At least on a camera. At least we have one that we could actually look down onto the beach with and actually look at the water level in real time. This is live. I mean, live as it gets. It's 9:55 at night there right now. Gonna crash. Let's see. You see, the waves are not breaking as significantly as they were earlier. Yeah, see how these waves are propagating slower now? It looks like the water might be slowly receding. It's probably what I'm thinking is happening. Yep, water might be attempting to recede. It could be. It might have hit already. Because water did jump past this black line. Pretty high over here, though. On this line. Because you can tell the sand color. Where the water has been and where it hasn't been. And it looks like the dark shading of sand here is pulling back gradually. Maui, that's on Maui. See what this one has to tell us. Did the tsunami here hit already? I'm sure it did in Maui. Let's make sure I'm in full screen. Actual full screen. We are. Perfect. This is another camera out of Maui. I really like this Waikiki Beach one because it really... Yeah, look at the water receding now. Look at the water receding. Look, remember where our black line was? You can see where the water was. Water's actually a little lower. And the waves are not crashing as significantly as they were earlier. You can see the difference where the water was. Probably low tide. No, it's more than likely in between another wave. Still seeing tidal activity here. Oh. Water maybe trying to come up again? Water's not receding. This is normal wave activity. It was receding a little bit, just a little bit. And that little bit, again, this is not like a 50-foot tsunami, people. This is not like out of a movie where you're going to see like water come up very quickly. Just subtle differences. This is not like a 30 or 40 foot or even a 20-foot tsunami. This is gradual, and tsunamis are like that. Even so, it doesn't look that significant. I mean, if I were there, I would see a big difference. It's already arriving in Monterey, California, with the water level there. Actually, you know what? I just realized something. I think I got a camera. I just thought of Avila Beach. Avila Beach should have something. There is. Avila Beach. There we go. I think we got one. Oh, wait, this is in Maui. Never mind. This is not a... Yeah, so trying to figure out where get a camera. While we're waiting for another camera, we'll just bring that back up. So you guys really want cameras. I can tell you guys really want them, but I'm trying my very best to get a camera. Donna Point, California. This camera's moving all over the place. That's not going to be helpful. Man, this is what happens when you don't have storm chasers or tsunami chasers out there. Let's see. Another camera. San Diego live. This is...
The head easy.
This is in a harbor, so I don't think that's going to do much. Well, we are able to see a teeny bit of tsunami activity on our camera in Waikiki, in good old Waikiki. Don't have any new updates with the warnings because the tsunami has arrived there already. This is definitely coming in, though. Now, Point Reyes seen an increase. Actually, let's go over to this camera. Oh, yeah, look at this. Water's coming up. Water's coming up. If you look very closely right here, no, this is not clickbait. This is not like attention grabbing, but watch the edge here where the light is. This is actually looking at the Pacifica camera. See these lights, how they're hitting the water and they reflect back, and where it gets suddenly dark is where light's not hitting the water there. Let's go back. You can tell by a little bit the water has come up, just by a little wee bit. Actually, no, wait, that's an hour ago. Oops. Yeah, here it is. This is where it's dramatic. This is the most dramatic part right here. Look very closely. Go to live. You can see the water come up, and the water is actually getting a little more choppier. You look very closely. You can see it come up. Not much. Again, we're not talking a big significance here, but it is little. It is little. You can sort of tell right there on the camera where those lights are shining. Show live buoy feet. Look at the live buoys again. Again, this is what we're seeing right now. This doesn't update every single minute, but this updates at least every 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what buoy you're looking at. And right now, it is coming up in Point Reyes. It is on the increase as of 10 minutes ago. So that means over here, the water is still coming up. Oh, we got another camera. Camera is this? Okay. OB camera. We'll look at that here in a little bit. So we are starting to see water come up definitely in Point Reyes. Still, it is currently ongoing with that tsunami. Yeah, water's coming down in Arena Cove. So the first wave has hit. Water's coming down. But this does not mean the tsunami's over, because our water's below our tide level now. You can see right here, there's the blue line showing us our predicted tide, and the red line is our actual water level. So we are below tide, projections, meaning the second wave could be likely bigger than the first wave. All right. So significant tidal activity is occurring now in the Point Arena area. Water's coming down now here in the North Split area. So the bay is draining out now with its water. See San Francisco. Nothing. There's no water here at all. Tide has not come up in Alameda. Let's see Alameda. Not yet. Not yet in Alameda. It's just hitting the coast right now. That water's going to be pouring in here soon. Once the flow really kicks into high gear. The second wave will more than likely probably be bigger than the first. Looking at the latest. Oh, look at these people. They're Nate, we got a problem. These people are actually adventuring out.
Yeah, I see that too, David. Everybody's been saying that, and they've been saying that in the comments. Yeah, they're I mean,
Maybe
we're
it
obviously
is.
still under a warning. They shouldn't be there. People are going to do what people want to do. Just how people go out in the eye of a hurricane, untrained. Obviously you shouldn't do that. Will anything bad happen to them? Probably not, but you should really, really, really listen to your local authorities and don't do that. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and in Hawaii, we are still seeing significant tidal activity going on. So there is still ups and downs with the water levels. So they're out there having fun. And they're saying, oh, it's not probably bad at all, but it's still something. We're still seeing significant ups and downs with our water levels in around the Honolulu, Maui, Hawaii areas. I would probably be doing the same thing just for research purposes, of course. So I will take the blame on that one if I was there in Hawaii. But it looks like our water levels are becoming a little bit more predictable in the Midway Islands. So the tsunami. Oh, shoot. Is that it? I think that was the beginning of a tsunami. I literally looked on the corner of my eye. Maybe that was a boat. Okay, that was a boat. Never mind. Whew. I thought that was a tsunami wave at first. In San Diego, it's not there. It's not there yet. You know what? I'm going to minimize this. See if there is any activity on the other cameras. Down the line. Is there a Charleston in California? Not that I'm aware of. But I do want to get to the questions. I know you guys are probably calling me names that I've been ignoring chat. Sorry about that. So we are still seeing water levels come up and down in Point Reyes. So the first wave arrived. And that means, see what our water levels are doing. Not much different there on that camera. On Chamberlain. How's the Oregon coast looking right now with its data? Actually, let's go to Coos Bay. Oh, there is a Charleston in Oregon, but not in California. Quite frankly, Charleston, Oregon has benefited quite well. Just a little bit above normal. And now it looks like waves are near the predicted tide levels. So Coos Bay did not get hit all that hard in that estuary. But let's go up the coast here in South Beach. Also not much hit here as well. because again, this is a little river and a little bay where the water slowly funnels in. Astoria, Oregon, not seen much. Not seen much. You would think the water level would come up there a little bit, but good news, not much unusual activity there. Westport, Washington, though, little bit of a anomaly of water activity there in the Westport, Washington. But yeah, Oregon is benefiting a little bit better, and that's seen well with only tsunami advisories up there. That means there's still definitely tsunami activity expected. So far, so good. It's been really targeting the Northern California area with the more significant ups and downs with water. And it looks like the second wave is now arriving in the Arena Cove area. So the second wave now, Arena Cove is getting, and it is higher than the first wave. But keep in mind, the tide has also come up a good couple of inches. So if this next wave is 4.5 feet, it means it's bigger than the first wave relative to the predicted tide level, which is blue. So let's see what anybody is asking. The waves are small. The waves are small, but when you're dealing with a tsunami warning or a tsunami advisory, I am going to take this quite seriously. And Nate, that's here, I'm doing my job. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, it's just a little tsunami, nothing too significant. Okay, going to bed. Sleepy.
Yeah, definitely. So, it's a big, so far hasn't been a big event at all, but, there's potentials for being a big event, and that's what you're all about on this channel. So, it's good to kind of spread what you're about, and, hopefully everybody subscribes and leaves a comment, maybe a like. Yeah, and he also does some great, I will say, he does probably the best tropical updates out of any YouTuber. That's me being serious. I haven't found anybody better. He's honest, he's accurate. He tells you what's actually going on. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah. So when it comes, if you have friends and family that live in Florida, that live in the East Coast, the Deep South, when it comes to hurricane activity or tropics, I'm all yours. I'm all yours. But I know, of course, this is not tropic related. This is earthquake related. But, everybody, even all the weather channels that I'm following are actually covering this too. So it's not unusual that I'm covering this on my channel. Because my goodness, the earthquakes keep on coming. I'm telling you, I cannot count how many earthquakes this area has had in literally the last hour or two. And all of these have still been in the range of magnitude 5 or greater. So enough to probably continue the little tsunami frenzy coming off of this. This tsunami's not going to be as big as when the mega quake hit, right, at 8.8, but the aftershocks here, there's still instability with tectonic movement here, so that could lead to additional water level changes initially. Where will the worst areas be? So Nate, can you actually explain to some of the viewers, like, they expect this to be like potentially like life-threatening or significant? Let's be clear here, and Nate could even agree with me on this. Okay, just because you hear a tsunami warning or whatever warning you think of, we're not talking a 50-foot wave. You guys are probably thinking anything out of a sci-fi movie that, oh my gosh, this is the 50-foot tsunami wave. No, 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 it's not. We're only talking about a 5 to maybe 10-foot wave, especially initially where the earthquake happened. but then that wave gets smaller and smaller with distance. And that's what we are seeing here. So, of course, we're not seeing 10-foot waves hitting Hawaii right now, okay? But there is a tsunami, and that's what you need to be aware of. Warnings are there for a reason. They're not there just because to cause fear mongering and this and that. No. All right. Looks like another tsunami warning. Is this a warning? This might be a warning. Yeah. So there's still a tsunami warning out for Hawaii. It looks like it was upgraded again, or it never was downgraded. So when you're in a warning, that means water level rises. Okay. Think of it like a king tide. You're seeing a king tide when it's not supposed to be a king tide. Oh, did they downgrade that? That was... I think they downgraded it. Or did they not? Okay, I guess they did. They did downgrade it to an advisory, it seems like, in Hawaii.
Yes, David, they actually did just downgrade it to an advisory. But if you go back to that map, those watersheds of deep red, if you're still living on sort of a river or a watershed, those warnings are still in place just because of what we explained. It's like a king tide. It's not going to be rapid moving, but those are there for a reason. Those aren't just not there. Everybody just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Also, actually, no, that is not a warning. There is an overlay. So some of the orange areas like this do overlay and they create red. So that is not a tsunami warning. That is still an advice. Oh, wait. It just changed. Now it's red again. Did you guys see that change? So I guess... Interesting. So it's still a tsunami warning for Hawaii right now. Okay, yeah, this was notably higher. This wave was notably higher at 4.6 feet. About a foot above predicted tide levels in Arena Cove. So that is a notable increase in water. So that is, the second wave is actually bigger than the first wave. See? It was not the first wave that was the biggest. So I'm waiting to see what happens on here on this camera. It looks like our water has not changed much on that camera. See if I can go through the archives here. Okay, yeah, they don't have any new archives out. This is what it looks like right now from Waikiki. Looks like the water levels have not changed much. So, but yeah, this is coming from an 8.8 earthquake earlier. The 6th biggest earthquake in the world. And that is a mega thrust fault, a tectonic plate. That's basically where, it's hard to explain, but I'm not the best at all of this. So basically your plate's doing this. So this is the sea floor. And then you got other piece of land that's doing this. So this part of the land mass actually gets pulled back over time, over thousands of years. It takes thousands of years. This is not like you could see this happening every second. No, this is a very slow process because this land piece right here is going underneath the other. Okay. While this is actually being pulled back like a rubber band as this piece of land is moving. But what happens is that kinetic energy, all that energy being stored in the landmass here below the ocean, in this case, or below the water, this will snap back suddenly, and that pushes water with it upward, and you get this tsunami. So this is what we call a mega thrust fault line. And look at all of those earthquakes. All of them. So lots of activity going on still in that area. Looks like we just had a 4.5 not long ago in that mega thrust zone off of Eureka. Nothing too big there. Nothing too concerning. But that second wave is definitely bigger than the first. But how's everybody doing with this live coverage of the tsunami? Oh, it's hitting Port San Luis right now. Getting that tsunami right now. Port San Luis, getting that. It's about a foot above tide levels. It is almost into Santa Barbara. Almost there, which is occurring at the peak of high tide. If you guys are new to the channel, if you haven't been here before and you do like tropical weather updates here on a daily basis, this is not what my channel's about. Not about earthquakes, about seismic activity. It's about the weather. If you have friends and family that live in Florida, that live in the East Coast or along the deep south, along the Gulf, yeah, I will keep you covered on the tropics. Not only that, Nate over here, along with Easy, which is not online. He is long slipping because it is 4:23 back there, and it's actually my bedtime. Staying up for this. Thanks a lot, Earthquake. You messed up my bed schedule now. Thanks a lot, Tsunami. You messed up my bed schedule. I was trying to get to bed actually a little early tonight, but nope, doesn't look like that's happening. So, yeah. Anything new, Nate, over there? Been kind of mellow.
Yeah, honestly, David, yeah, no, not much new has been going on. Kind of these small tsunami waves have been felt in California. Kind of more of the same in Hawaii as well. They did post an update on X, emergency services in Hawaii. They did say that they are not lifting the current tsunami warning. They're waiting. They did also say off the coast of Maui there was a 6-foot wave reported. You can fact check that as well on MSNBC, which I did myself because we weren't seeing that with the buoys. But yeah, so far quiet, which is a good thing. Nobody really wants to see all of this. It's late at night. I'm very glad to see all the interest. Just kind of the small stuff. We'll see more probably in the upcoming 2 hours in California. More of what we saw in Hawaii. Just kind of like an increased tide almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Water's coming up. Water's coming up in the Pacific Pier right now. From Chamberlain's live cameras in Pacifica. Oh, yeah. Look at the water difference here. Watch this. Okay, this was 10 minutes ago. Pay very close attention. Right by where that pier is. The gap got a little smaller. So there is a tidal rise, notable tidal rise on that camera. Very gradual, though. Very gradual, but not much. Interesting question from Dirk and Suzanne. Who likes where they live? I like where I live. I don't have a problem with it. We've had actually a very nice, mild summer. But for those that are either watching this from Hawaii or from the East Coast or wherever you guys are watching this, maybe it's a different story. Muggy, hot, sweltering. Not for me. We've gotten really lucky this summer, but can't speak too quick on that. The water's coming up a little bit on our Pacific camera. So there is still a tsunami warning out for Hawaii right now. Okay. I wonder if this small craft advisory for the Hawaiian Islands doesn't talk nothing about the tsunami, honestly. Thought they would.
Yeah, David, that small craft advisory that you were just talking about, that's actually caused from the tropical disturbance just located south of the islands right now.
Oh,
Yeah, that was they issued that, I believe, 8 hours ago before the tsunami.
all right. Yeah, so the tsunami right now, let's take a look at our latest observed. Has not arrived yet in Santa Monica. Not yet. In Santa Barbara, it has not arrived there yet. It's going to take some time. Port San Luis, though, definitely getting a huge increase in water levels. Man, from the beginning of all of this, water levels there were at 3.4 feet, now are at 4.5 feet. So a full 1.1 foot increase in water levels there in the last 30 to 45 minutes. Point Reyes getting another second wave of water that's coming up. Arena Cove. Dang, this is getting even higher. Look at this. Wow. Man, this is significant. Arena Cove. Nate, look at this. So at 112, the actual water level was at 2.8 feet. Literally 6 minutes later, it's up to 5 feet.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at that. Also, I'm trying to find more live cameras for everybody. I know everybody keeps saying use Surfline. We can't use Surfline here. That's something that only you guys can use. We can't use that here. So it's hard to find a good quality camera. And I figured I'd just give everybody a little bit of updates on the camera situation.
Yeah. And to reiterate with what he was talking about is if you guys want me to not stream for 90 days because of a copyright claim takedown, because I used Surfline's website to stream their cameras, then that's up to you guys. But I want to play it safe because I want to live stream the tropics once we get a landfall within 24 to 36 hours. If copyright did not exist, I would certainly be using Surfline cameras right now at this very split second. And probably all I would be showing you all in this live stream. But because of copyright issues, and actually me and Nate, after this stream is done, because I'm going to be on for maybe another 15 minutes. Then I'm probably going to get some shut-eye and probably talk a little more about that. In terms of, you know, maybe me and him will look more into that. Maybe that was like 3 years ago. Maybe things have changed. Keep checking Eureka. It's red. Tsunami warning. Yes, I am checking Eureka right now. And the second wave is coming in at the moment. Looks like a second surge in that bay is occurring right now. Hey, if you guys want to contact Surfline, then that's all on you guys, you know. I know you guys are here for the live cameras, but same time, I'm copyright free friendly over here. I don't want to get in legal trouble. You're very welcome, Dirk and Suzanne. We'll be looking at Santa Monica here, but this is North Split. North Split seeing the second surge coming in right now. And the second surge is equally as high as the first one in relative to the tide increase. But man, this fourth wave is, we're going to really need to watch that arena camera though. Or not camera, that tide, the tide gauge. So do you guys understand with what I was referencing there about the whole copyright thing? If not, be happy to talk to one of us here on the stream. Or unless you guys want to look it up in their terms and conditions, you're more than happy to do that. Because maybe things have changed. Maybe I am allowed to use their cameras. If I'm allowed, then I can get a subscription and then it's a done deal. We can actually use that. Tsunami is over. It's not over. So let's go to Santa Monica. Someone wanted to know about Santa Monica. We'll get there in just a second. The first wave arrived in Port St. Louis at about 1:18 in the morning. We're waiting for the second wave to come in. Santa Barbara yet has not had any activity, nor has Santa Monica had any tidal activity. Nothing. Nothing on these two tidal gauges yet. The Bay Area, yes. So the Bay Area is seeing. Yeah, so the Bay Area saw its first little piece of the wave that came in. Now it's going out, but then it's going to come in again. Alameda, let's see about Alameda. Alameda not seeing anything right now. Redwood City certainly not seeing anything. It'll be a while before it gets over there. Keep an eye on the chat too, if you can, Nate, because there might be some questions. Chat is coming through pretty quickly now.
Definitely. I'll make sure to copy those comments and get them addressed before stream is ended.
Yeah. Santa Monica is flooding right now. I don't think it's flooding right now. There is no signs of any tidal wave that has arrived there. So Santa Monica is not flooding. Everyone's do the subscribe challenge. Subscribe challenge. If you have not subscribed, I challenge you to subscribe. How about that? That's your challenge. Santa Monica is not flooding. And if Santa Monica does flood, it's only going to be a little minor flood, like right along the coast. Maybe the parking lot right there by the beach might get a little bit of inundation, but I'm not expecting like a cataclysmic event where your cars get swept away. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right. So the second wave could be bigger. We're seeing tidal outgoing bigger than incoming at this given time in the Arena Cove. Get this. In 6 minutes, here, Nate, the tide went from about 5 feet back down to 2.78 feet.
Yeah, I've been checking that out. Yeah, it's definitely starting to pick up more like what we kind of saw in Hawaii. There's definitely been some stuff that has arrived. We're not sure of the complete strength of it yet. Nobody quote me on this. I believe I saw 4 feet extra is what they were anticipating. But that could be higher, that could be lower now. Just make sure you guys check up on your warning.
It looks like in Honolulu, water levels are smoothing out a little bit more, so the tsunami part of that might have passed. We got another little wave that has resurged itself near, I can't even read those words, that island to the northwest of Honolulu. So it looks like the overall threat here is slowly diminishing in the Hawaiian Islands. Not entirely. I want to make it clear, not entirely. But we are not seeing any notable abrupt changes too significant. Probably get downgraded here to tsunami advisory soon. If they keep it a warning, they might see more additional larger waves coming in. But we're going to wait for this next one to see if this actually comes up any further. Also, if you guys have not liked the stream yet, please consider liking if you haven't already. So, Arena Cove getting the meat of this tsunami right now. It's really hitting that area pretty good. North Split. Oh, yeah, North Split really taking a hike here. Man, the first wave, let's put it this way, Nate. The first wave was only 4.46 feet. This second wave is now almost 6 feet. I mean, we're talking almost.
We're talking 2 foot.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 foot increases already.
So that second wave really hitting North Split right now. That's definitely a notable tsunami right there. Crescent City, let's see Crescent City. I don't know what's going on with this little tidal station, but okay. It's actually been below the overall tidal station, even so it was a tsunami. Maybe some work needs to be done on that gauge. Let's see Point Reyes. Point Ross. All right, yeah. Point Reyes, near tidal levels. But this Arena Cove catches my eye, and I'm just a matter of time when it updates. If we are going to see a big jump here. Why is no one covering California? I don't know why I'm covering California. That's why I'm here, because most of it has passed Hawaii, not out of the woods yet with the tsunami activity. I want to be clear, we're not done with it. Not done with it yet. But doesn't seem as much extreme fluctuations with water has occurred in Hilo in the last 30 minutes. And things have stabled here. It's really California now. And California can do some pretty shady stuff with their waves, with the tsunami waves there. All right, looks like the fifth wave does not look to be as big as the fourth one. We'll see what the next update shows here once a new one comes in. Eureka. Let's see Eureka if that updated. Yep. Looks like the highest went through. Now it's coming back down again. Please, Los Angeles. Show Los Angeles. Yeah, let's see if there's anything in Santa Monica. Still nothing in Santa Monica as of 1:36 in the morning. So that was almost 10 minutes ago. Still nothing in Santa Monica, California with the tsunami. Los Angeles, nothing new there. Again, below the overall tidal level. So there has not been any abnormalcy of any tidal activity there. San Francisco is still getting significant changes in water levels. So it is occurring in San Francisco right now, way below the tidal level of almost a foot. So Richmond, see Richmond, actually Richmond's coming up a little bit above the overall tidal level. There is that tsunami wave has made its way into the Richmond area as more of like increased inflow into the bay. I wonder if this is actually, I wonder if the Euro, oh, it's not going to be modeled. That'd be awesome that the Euro would actually model the tsunami wave. That'd actually be really cool. Like you could actually see it coming in. So yeah, we have seen a big change in sea level rises and downs in the Point Reyes area. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching this for a little while longer. But it has not arrived. I want to be clear. It has not arrived beyond Santa Barbara right now. Actually, Santa Barbara just got their big increase in sea level rises. As of 1:30 in the morning, now 1:36, it has come down a little bit more. So the tsunami has officially arrived in San Luis Obispo in Santa Barbara. So our wave is probably now beginning to hit near Rocky Point. Probably where it's now arriving, and it's going to be working its way. Now, some of these Channel Islands right out here might actually help out Southern California at preventing any such serious increases, because, well, water will bounce here and kind of cancel out each other a little bit. So the tsunami might actually not be quite as bad in Santa Monica and Los Angeles as areas to the north that don't have any islands to stop those waves. I don't post anymore. You don't need to be freaked out. It's just a little, think of it like a tidal wave, like high tide. High tide is occurring 5 or 6 different times. You know, just think of it like that. I mean, it's only a tsunami advisory. It's not even a warning, which means just be advised that a tsunami is going to impact your area. But it's not a warning. Okay, it's not a tsunami warning. Okay, it's, believe me, if this was a life-threatening situation in California, it would be really bad. I mean, the gauges would tell you already. I mean, if we saw a life-threatening tsunami, okay, let's just put it this way. You're going to see red lines that are beyond this. I mean, you would see like huge spikes on this. We're not even seeing that. All right. Now, low-lying areas that don't typically flood will flood with the tsunami, but that's the extent of it. It's king tide in January, but it's the 30th of July. Think of it like that. And actually, this is not anything like, you know, because your water levels are not arriving at. During king tide, some of these tide gauges with the blue line typically peak at 7 to 9 feet. All right. Like in Eureka, that's where your tidal changes are more extreme. I mean, this is not abnormal at all. I mean, if you think about it, because look at where high tide was earlier, like right around sundown. Tide was 6.8 feet. This is actually below the peak of that. Now, when we get to about 7 feet, that's when you get a little more concerned about some coastal flooding. That, we are not seeing that. We're just not. This is just a little tsunami, but of course, we're going to take extra precautions because it is a tsunami, right? It's not, I mean, people could be adventuring out to the ocean in the middle of the night, not knowing that a tsunami is actually occurring. So it's why these warnings go out. And I'll tell you, look at the water level here. And look how much lower that water did get in Hawaii, in the Waikiki camera. Remember, the water was all the way up here. It's way down here now. The worst of the tsunami is over. What would you think about that, Nate? Do you think the worst is over? I'm on edge about that one.
I'm a little bit on edge as well, David. I'm not really too well versed in the tsunami world. Or as a lot of people, they're kind of unpredictable. So it's hard to say. If you're under a tsunami warning, you can, maybe relax a little bit. But I would also be on the fence with advising that. Obviously, I would never advise against a warning of some sort.
Never. So, just heed the warning. A tsunami warning is issued for Hawaii for a reason. Please heed it, because there probably will be more tsunami waves overnight because, again, with those aftershocks, okay? When you get these aftershocks, they agitate the water a little bit more. But I don't see anything that is life-threatening at the moment. Okay? But of course, when it's breaking news, when it first happens, how you want to look at it is we don't know how big the tsunami waves are going to be until they have arrived. So right now, after all, this is really not as big of a tsunami threat as what we had before the first waves arrived in Hawaii. That makes sense, right? It's basically making it a bigger deal than it really should be because we don't know how big the waves are. We don't have adverse instruments that can tell us that, oh, the waves are exactly this big. You know, we don't have satellite technology that adverse to give us that the waves are going to be this. They're going to act this way, you know. I know some of you are probably, not just me, but other YouTubers are like, you know, it is breaking news, an 8.8 earthquake. I mean, imagining an 8.8 earthquake in your neck of the woods. How would you respond to an 8.8 earthquake? You know? What's up, Chris? Welcome. I'm David Schlotthauer here, the tropical weather expert. Yeah, if you guys are subscribing just for this live stream, think a little harder because I do track the tropics as well. So I know on YouTube with breaking news like this, people will subscribe just to get one thing, but like literally think really hard. Because if you have friends, you have family in Florida, in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the Carolinas, in New York, Long Island, you know, all along the East Coast of the United States, in the Southeast, as well as the Deep South, I do cover the tropics every single day. You will see another tropical update here on the channel later on today. Actually, to be specific, in about 13 or 14 hours from now, I will have another tropical update. So, therefore, if you have not subscribed yet, you're new, you haven't been here before, or if you've been here and have not subscribed and been watching me for 7 or 8 months, and have yet to decide if you want to subscribe, I would highly recommend doing so because, oh my goodness, Nate, I cannot wait to do 24-hour live coverage on the tropics on something.
Yeah, David, that actually sounds really awesome to me as well.
Yeah. Live recon data, live radar data, live cameras, and the cameras. We've done a lot of research. We know where those cameras are. Unlike this, I literally, from the time I got home to the time that I created this stream, I had to act fast. It literally was from walking in the door to my computer to start the stream was like 10 minutes. My adrenaline, I was shaking up because I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this going. I had no time to prepare for this stream whatsoever. That's how urgent this was. Because pretty much this happened right while I was at work. I was like, whoa. Got a tsunami. Oh my gosh. We got an 8.8 earthquake. You know? So can you change the cameras? Yeah, sorry if I was on one camera for so long. But yeah, if you have not subscribed, liked, or shared this, I highly recommend doing it. And you could hear it from Nate. I mean, he was even saying this guy is literally the best when it comes to the tropics.
You simply can't get any better, David.
Exactly.
You're the tropics whisperer.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Crescent City right now. Crescent City, what are you doing over here? Water level went from 2.1 feet all the way up to almost 7 feet. Now, that right there is actually above any tide level that we have had in the last 24 hours. So, this is a pretty substantial tsunami right now going on in Crescent City. We will really need to see how high this gets. Crescent City right now is probably getting some minor flooding. And that's right here. This is in Pelican Rock, little estuary here. Getting that really, really high surge, that wave that's coming in. It's not really an emergency anymore, but it is still kind of an emergency with that right there. North Split, we have not seen any big increase. Well, we have seen an increase in water, but now it's dropping again. Worries me because the next wave is probably going to be really big. Because usually before a big tsunami comes in, you actually get a receding wave.
Hey, David, I'd just like to point out that the tsunami warning has been dropped for all of the Hawaiian Islands.
That's great news. That's great news. So the tsunami warning has now officially been dropped again for the Hawaiian Islands. So we do not have a tsunami warning anymore for the Hawaiian Islands, and it is now a tsunami advisory. This does not mean the tsunami is over. It's just downgraded from a warning to an advisory. Still expect abnormal water movement and activity rises and lowers over the next several hours. While though in California, there is still a tsunami warning out for Eureka, and I am not surprised by that because Crescent City just had a huge increase in water levels in the matter of 6 minutes. There's even a marine statement here. So we are going to actually stay a little longer on air because of that data. I'm really interested in what this is going to look like because this water right here is actually pretty significantly below the actual tidal predictions. So again, Hawaii is no longer under a tsunami warning and it has been dropped. It's only for now Northern California under a tsunami warning. That means we are seeing significant water rises at the moment. I mean, the data doesn't lie. That is a big increase in water in a matter of 6 minutes. You go from 2.7 feet all the way up to 6.6 feet. That is pretty dramatic. That's 4 feet increase in water right there. In a matter of 6 minutes, that's almost a foot a minute. Santa Monica. Let's see what Santa Monica. Okay, Santa Monica is now getting a tsunami. Tsunami has arrived in Santa Monica, California. So that wave is propagating nicely. We'll see how just big it gets there in Santa Monica in the next hour or two. We have yet to see anything. I think we're starting to see the beginnings of a tsunami arriving in excuse me, arriving in Los Angeles, Port San Angeles, right here, starting to see things change. Here's, again, another look at it. See the rise and falls, but looks like this is going to shoot up here very soon. It's right with their tidal levels right now.
Hey, David, I'd just like to point out I've been seeing a couple people in the live stream asking for Washington. Washington currently has not been experiencing many tsunamis, and also there is a very lackluster amount of these sensors collecting data on the coastlines. They're more inland in the rivers.
Yeah, so it's probably not going to represent things very well. I would assume definitely a tsunami is occurring there. but not as bad, I would say, as in Northern California. Oh, and someone also told me earlier, if I can even find it here, Sky 59, Sky 5599. David, you are my go-to for the tropics. I live in Tampa and I love your channel so much. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, when it comes to the tropics, I just cannot wait to test my new setup here where I am going to be streaming 24 to 36 hours before a landfalling tropical storm or hurricane. And that is why I have Nate here. Excuse me. I have Nate. I have Easy. I have at least 2 or 3 people to back me up. So that way, when I'm sleeping, they could actually take over for me. And when they're sleeping, I can take over for them. So there's always coverage.
Hey, David. So I did also notice, I would like to point out, Southern California is feeling it a little bit more. There was a reported drop in water levels down to 1.88 feet in Port San Luis, California. I was wondering if you could check that out.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Okay, that's a big drop. Oh, wow. Yeah. That came from 4.2 feet all the way down to 1.8 feet. So that is about a little over 3-foot drop in water levels. Now we're going to start seeing where this goes. We're probably going to see a really big increase in water. But wow, from the very bottom to that, I mean, if that goes all the way up to 5 or 6 feet, that's a full 5 to 7 foot difference between the low and the high. Let's see Arena Cove though, because actually it's not Arena Cove, it's actually Crescent City. That's been the area that I have really been watching, and that is still going up. Look at this. This is almost 6.8 feet. Roughly about 7 feet is when parking lots typically are going to flood in this area, and we could start seeing a lot of inundation occur. So we are in the danger zone in Crescent City right now. Crescent City could be experiencing some minor inundation right now with that first wave moving through. Actually, no, wait. That is not. That's the 4th wave. Where am I at on that? The 4th tsunami wave coming in. Eureka. Let's see Eureka. Eureka's dropped down, but we're back up again. We're on the increase, so we will see where that 3rd wave hits and how high it gets in that area. But man, Crescent City right now is taking the cake in all of this with the highest, most biggest difference in water levels right now. Only Crescent City is showing that big difference. We're not seeing anything outside of that scope. Now, Monterey Bay is seeing a very uniform up and down in the tsunami, but it's not very significant by any means. Pismo Beach, we do have a Port San Luis is one of those areas, but does not cover Pismo Beach, which isn't going to be much different than Port San Luis. Right now, water levels are 3.7 feet as we speak. 3.7 feet. Again, it is suggested that you do move to higher ground if you are right on the beach. If your house is like, you can walk out onto the beach from your house, then I would be a little on edge, but it's not the end of the world. Some people in the comments, oh my gosh, Nate, are saying, look, it's the end of the world. Run to higher ground. It's like, come on. It's
I don't know, David. Have you ever seen that movie with The Rock, based in San Francisco?
I actually am not a movie person, so I have not.
Yeah, that's how I imagine some people are treating this right now. Somebody tell me the name in the comments section. I can't remember.
So why is my headline saying emergency? I am going to downgrade that actually. So I'm going to, this is, I'll just say breaking news. I'll just say that breaking news. I didn't even spell Hawaii correctly. Oh my golly on my spelling, or did I? I don't think I even did. No, there's an A in there. Oh, no, there I did. Oh, there's another A after that. Oh my god. How often do I spell Hawaii like that? Crazy. There we go. Sorry about the typo there. Wow, I double corrected myself on that one. So I did put breaking news. It's no longer an urgent situation, but still a big threat nonetheless. Still a big threat. Yep, water level dropped. There you go. So that is the fourth wave that has passed. We will see where this takes us. We'll get a even higher fifth wave. But I'll tell you, if the next wave gets up to 8 feet, though, if that even happens, that will be potentially life-threatening along the coast. That will be very, very significant. Rest assured you on that one. Lots of parking lots will more than likely flood up there. Because that is pretty significant. I mean, that is that's pretty dang high. See what North Split looks like. North Split is coming up again. We'll see where that takes us in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, this was a close call. And here's the thing. You know, when you hear about an 8.8 earthquake that just happened, you know, and I want to ask you all this question, okay? What's going to come to your mind? The minute that you hear that, oh my gosh, we just had a 9.0 earthquake out in the along the thrust zone of a active fault line, what's going to first come to mind, right? You're going to hear about, oh, is there going to be a tsunami? But once that tsunami is generated, your first question will be, oh, how big is this tsunami going to be? They have issued tsunami warnings, right? We don't know until it has hit. That's the problem. Yep, exactly, Giovanni. Can't underestimate tsunamis. Looking at changes can change rapidly. Exactly. You know, tsunami may not look that bad until it's too late. That's kind of what it is. It's really, you know, and hence its name, tidal wave. It's literally a tidal wave. It's not literally, people think it's one of those surf waves. No, these are very different waves that behave very differently. All right. I'm a regular, David. I was just playing around. Oh, I know, Mikey, but sometimes people can come across it as a bit serious. It's looking worse now. I think it'll get bigger and bigger. Not necessarily. The worst of the waves, let's see, Crescent City is seeing a drop now. We're going to just have to wait for more updates. Man, it's almost 2:30 in the morning. At 2:15, I'm cutting it at this point in 5 minutes. Not that the threat's decreasing, but I am actually quite tired. There will be other people that live stream this. I mean, at least I was able to do enough coverage for you all on this. But man, this is... let's look at Los Angeles. Some people are wondering about that. So Los Angeles, no, nothing has arrived there yet. Like I thought we were going to go up here, but nothing in Los Angeles yet. In Santa Monica, let's see Santa Monica. We got our first wave of the tsunami. Now things are dropping. We're going to see how that progresses in the next few minutes. La Jolla, things have come up there, but still near the tidal predictions. San Diego, things have not materialized there so far. But yeah, if you guys have not subscribed yet to the channel, to get tropical weather updates, because I am in the deep of the thickness of hurricane season, please check out all of my videos on the channel. That way you can kind of get an idea that, oh, David does talk about tropical weather updates. You know, and I'm not no strange YouTuber over here, you know. First question to ask, Nate, how serious it's going to be around San Clemente? San Clemente. That's for you, Nate.
Sorry there, David. My mic was muted. I've actually saw his comment a bunch, and funny enough, all of the places that he was looking for, they do not have any stations anywhere near the coastal areas of those places. I've seen him be commenting a lot. I wish I could give him something, but I just can't at this time.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Giovanni. Boy, what a night. What a night. To end out July, well, it's not the end. Well, we have one more day of July to go through, but wow, what a night it has been. Seriously, like major heat in the Midwest and the southeastern United States. Big 8.8 earthquake happening off of Russia, generating a big tsunami. What else can we see out of this year? Mega hurricanes? Oh, which, by the way, there is a hurricane outbreak going on right now in the Pacific. Yeah, in the Pacific, we have 3 areas that we are monitoring. Well, now, if you guys, of course, have been following me for a while here on the channel, Tracking the Tropics, I have not covered much of the Pacific. That is because these systems are in the middle of what? Water. And no one lives in the ocean except marine life. So that's what it is. So yeah, hurricane outbreak continues in the Pacific. I mean, what a July this has been. Literally. Earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricane outbreak. What's going to happen next? Are we going to get a hurricane outbreak in the Atlantic? We shall see. We shall see.
Hey, David, before I think you end this live, I think maybe show some of these people what you're all about with the Atlantic. Maybe show them why there isn't as many hurricanes active in the Atlantic right now. I know there's a lot of new viewers watching. I think they would probably like to see that.
Absolutely. They're probably wondering what I actually do here. And with that, you can see my lovely face in the dark. Oh my God. Probably funny, and that came across very funny, didn't it? No, I'm not no commentator, but yeah. So what I typically look at here in the tropics, and my face is hiding away from you. Let me quickly adjust this. All right. So let me just do a brief overview for those that are new, that are not just subscribing for the Tsunami stuff, because if you guys are, I'm so sorry. You're not going to see much of that on my channel. Probably once in a blue moon. So if you're subscribing for the tropics, you got it. So here's a look at it here on the Euro. So in my videos, I will always go through all of the models with you all. Nate can prove it to you. And we will look at the Euro. We'll look at the GFS, the artificial intelligence, the Icon model. Who likes the Icon? I do. The GFS, as well as the Canadian. We will look at all 5 global computer models for you all to give you guys the best, the most honest, the most life-saving tropical weather information here on the channel. If you guys watch other weather YouTube channels out there that track the tropics, they will look at just simply 1 or 2 global computer models. Now, I will do that if there's literally nothing out there in the tropics, like nothing at all. But once something actually is in the radar to track, then we literally go into serious detail. Don't we now, Nate?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we do around here, honestly.
And what we have is we do have a tropical wave that we do need to, it's bear watching. I will be updating you all here on the channel this afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. I'm in California. For all of those new viewers that are watching this, I'm in Pacific time zone. So if you're watching this from the East Coast, you're going to want to subtract 3 hours from your time clock. So if it's 6 o'clock p.m. back east, it's going to be 3 o'clock my time. So that's when I typically upload my tropical videos. Sometimes it's 3:30. Sometimes it's as late as 4 o'clock. And that's because I want to wait for that 12Z European model to come out here on Tropical Tidbits. Other YouTubers will literally look at cherry pick models and be like, oh, this is the worst case scenario. I'm not going to say who, and we're not going to bring that up, Nate. But you get the idea. Like, people will literally look for one specific model run that they need to look at, and then they'll show it to you. And then that's like not how we forecast. We have to look at the models, the latest models that we got to get here. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for hurricane season. Well, it's already occurring. It's just a matter of, will it get more interesting beyond the 14th of August? And the GFS is Sleepy Beauty over there, not indicating much, while the Euro continues to indicate that wave that we will need to watch right here in about 10 days. And some of you are probably like, whoa, in 10 days, that's very uncertain. Not until you look at the ensembles, and let's look at those very quickly. This has turned into a tropical weather live stream. Mixing chocolate with vanilla. So the European, the 12-0Z, wait, is this the latest? This is the latest run. And interestingly enough, ensembles are not very enthused with that second wave yet. But of course, it is still far out. They're going back and forth with it. So we're going to just need to wait and see in future model runs on what they do with it. But that's going to be the general look at what I use here. I will use ensembles, all the deterministic forecasts. I will compare different models, and we will get to the more extreme, looking at the MJO. There's a lot of scientific things that I do cover in my videos. So if you do not like scientific things, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I am a tropical weather nerd over here, that I do. And I'll be here in the tropical weather department at least through the middle to the end of November. So we have a long way to go. It's only July, folks, and we're going into August. So we have another 3 months to go with the season. All right. I hope that got you to subscribe now, right? I hope that encouraged you all to slap that subscribe button, because we are literally less than 2,000 subscribers away from the halfway point to 100,000, which is 50,000 subscribers. I'm getting very close to. But should I unsubscribe for the Pacific? Giovanni, I wouldn't, because if there is a name system that threatens Hawaii, because you got to understand, I mean, none of these systems are going to be impacting Hawaii. Literally not, okay? If one hits Hawaii like this little guy is showing on the Euro, might be covering a video and doing some updates on that. Remember, Hawaii is a lot smaller for its target. And so you need the system, the right pattern for a system to hit Hawaii. And hopefully that never happens, because we get a Cat 4 or Cat 5 hurricane hitting Hawaii, then all hands are down on that one. But the GFS is indicating maybe something getting close to the Hawaiian Islands in about that time frame. The Canadian is not very enthused. Well, a little bit of a tropical wave passing over that area. But we are not seeing anything I'm concerned about yet. Once this system develops, though, we will start doing updates on it for the Central Pacific area, as long as it remains a threat to the Hawaiian Islands. But I don't see any threat right now at the moment. So if you have not subscribed, if you're in the Central Pacific, I would highly recommend doing so. All right, sorry about that, man. It went from straight tsunami stuff to straight weather stuff.
Yeah, David, while you were doing that weather stuff, I was looking at more of the tsunamis on the West Coast. More of the same kind of stuff. We're seeing the 1 foot, the 2 foots. We haven't really seen anything outstanding yet.
All right, what was your question? Sorry to intervene there. What was your question? Says I was not answering. I would appreciate... Okay, no, that's just all right. That's nothing. But yeah, when it comes to live streaming the hurricane season, oh my gosh, I cannot freaking wait. I cannot wait. It's just a matter of when the season's going to wake up. And hopefully I don't need a live stream on the tropics before a landfall, because that means someone's going to get hurt by a named storm. And we don't want that. We literally do not want that. But trying something new that I've never tried before on my channel is always exciting. It really is. And that means before a landfalling hurricane, like let's just say a system makes landfall here, and it's 24 hours away from making that landfall, we would stream before that. So it's going to be a party around here on the channel. It is.
Then you guys get to hear more of me.
Yeah. Having a second helper here is going to definitely make things easier, because that means I could rest peacefully overnight when I need to sleep, knowing that I got Nate and Easy over here actually batten down the hatches, like making sure things are smooth as it is during the day. It's just a matter of when do we use those resources, those two people. Like tonight I'm using one of them, but like when it comes to the tropics, you know. And I'll tell you, I'm not a seismic channel. I'm Dutch Sense on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have heard of him very much. He covers that stuff. I'm pretty sure he's going madhouse crazy on his YouTube channel covering this big old fat earthquake at 8.8. He's the seismic channel that I would highly recommend checking out when it comes to volcanoes, earthquakes, and other land movement type of stuff. That's his niche. that he covers, but I'm not that type of person unless it's something like this. It's like a tsunami. It's life threatening. It's going to potentially impact people. That's when I get involved. And if you hear me getting involved with stuff like this, that's a serious sign, because I literally have to separate myself from the tropics temporarily to cover something that's a tsunami. And you know all too well, I think this is the first time on this channel I've actually covered something like a tsunami. Actually, maybe the second. No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe this is, the first time. How about Hawaii right now? So still some questions. Okay, I'm going to end it in 4 minutes, I promise, at 2:30. I've been live for 2.5 hours, so I'm tired. So Hawaii, the water level is a little bit on the higher than normal side, but it was like that at the very get-go, so I'm not too worried about Hawaii anymore. I am not concerned. Things are stabilizing. We're not seeing any more significant tsunami waves in that area. That's why it was dropped down to an advisory, not a warning anymore. Still some activity going on, though. However, in Hilo, but that too does not look very significant anymore. And then over here in Midway, there's not much any more tsunami activity. That's also coming down. So good news there. Family in Hawaii is definitely relieved. That's great to hear, Janie. That's what I like to hear from a lot of you guys in Hawaii, if you're watching this, is that there is relief. People could actually go to bed, and actually sleep very nicely. Not knowing that there's not going to be a tsunami, or the tsunami had passed. But, oh, there you are, Nate Long. Oh, I got to surprise you. I'm going to give you a big surprise, Nate. Are you ready for the surprise? Here we go.
I'm ready for
it. Here we go. Boom.
My stream's a bit delayed, so I have to wait a second.
You have to type in something, though.
I have to type in something?
Yeah. What's up, Caitlin? How are you doing? Do you notice your name?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Welcome aboard. Because I know,
Awesome.
there's no mods online right now besides me and you, so.
I appreciate that. The chats have been relatively calm. I haven't seen anything too crazy in them lately.
I had to hide one person, but that's about it. Been quite relaxing for having up to 3,000 people watching this earlier. So I'm actually relieved that my stream went really well. Because when it goes really well, when people act the way they should in chat, things are smooth over here in the office. So, but I want to thank you all for tuning in. I really do. This was a pop-up session, something that no one was expecting on their notification feed in the middle of the night in the East Coast, or even here where I live. But of course, I didn't bother many people in Hawaii because it was not midnight there when this went live. So appreciate the coverage. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that very much. And you're going to definitely appreciate my tropical weather coverage. Just a matter of time when the Atlantic is going to wake up. But I want to rest assure you all that are watching this from Hawaii, I am watching the Central Pacific. I mean, everybody is, with this many of disturbances going on. Again, hurricane outbreak. We will see. Will any of these two out here, will they impact Hawaii in the next 5 to 10 days? If one of those do, I am going to update as often as I can for the Hawaiian Islands. But if these miss Hawaii, what is the point of updating when this is going to be in the middle of the ocean, not impacting anyone except marine life, you know? Not that I don't want to update it, but like, I'm not going to be interested in updating a tropical system in the middle of the ocean. It's fun to look at on your own time, but not for someone that is covering the weather, you know? Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I absolutely do. So if you're here for the tropics, you did your job at subscribing. But if you subscribed just for the tsunami, think harder. Don't think smart. Think harder and think smarter. That's what you need to think. All right. So it is 2:31 here in Pacific time. That would be 10:31. Oh, wait, no. My time is mixed up. Oh, my gosh. 11:31 in the evening in Hawaii. All right. As always, I am going to sign off for the night because it is getting late over here and I need some rest. Okay. I'm already 3 hours past my bedtime. But I will be back this afternoon at 3 p.m. 12 and a half hours away. I will have a tropical update out for the Atlantic. Don't miss that. Please don't miss that. All right. As always, have a great rest of your guys' night. Share, like, and subscribe, and turn all notifications on to get all of my notifications as I do upload every single flippin' day here on the channel on the tropics, including live streaming coverage. Not like this, but with tropical-like systems and other weather events. Good night, folks. Peace out. Be safe.